talent is the most overrated currency in the world because talent without consistency is just wasted potential. And if you are a woman who was once topper, once praised, once the gifted one, but now you feel stuck in the rat race, this episode is your reality check. You don't need more talent, you need inevitability. Hi guys, welcome back to It Girl Diary podcast. I am so happy to have you here and I hope you have listened to the previous episodes. I know we are in March, but you can still go back to those 2026 episodes and listen to them because they are gold mine and you can literally start your life anytime. You don't need the permission of new year, new month, new week. You can just decide right now and start your new life anytime. So go back and listen to that if you haven't already. And I started this podcast with the main character series and I almost forgot about those episodes, but those episodes are like gold mine. I am so proud of those episodes. I re-listened to them so many times, but I never mention it again on this podcast. So if you want to become that main character, you have want to have the glow up inside out, just go back and listen to those episodes as well because those are so good. And today we are talking about something that might sting a little, especially if you grew up being the smart one, the capable one, the ambitious one, the one teachers trusted. Because I was that girl, I was a topper, and I landed an amazing job. And then I quit that job to build my own business, and that's when I realized something no school prepares you for. Outside of school, there's no curriculum, and without structure, talent collapses because it is so difficult to measure something. And I'm someone who loves to plan things, measure things like, okay, I am 80% done, I am here. But when you get out of that school, there is no semester, there is nothing. In school, success is defined. You are given a syllabus, timeline, grading system, clear definition of top. And I am double quoting, air quoting the top word because it is like that. If you follow it properly, you win. But adult life, there is no semester, no teacher, no deadline, no reward system. And that's when most talented women feel lost because the identity of topper doesn't translate automatically into entrepreneurship, leadership, or even a life design. And suddenly you are stuck, not because you are incapable, but because there's no roadmap. So, what do talented women do? They try to recreate intensity. They, wake up at 5 a.m., they stack 10 tasks in the one day, they tried to do two semesters in 1 week, and that was so me. I still remember my messy to do list and the panic when I couldn't complete it because seriously, you can do only so much in one day. And the to do list I used to make were so obnoxious because I used to think I can finish everything in one day and move ahead somehow because I have been procrastinating for last 2 months. So that was my mindset. Like, okay, when you are at the end of the semester in school and you feel like, okay, even if I haven't studied for so long, if I study 1 week before my exam, everything will be all right. And that's what I used to think in real life. And when I left my job in 2023, I thought ambition was enough. I would, sleep for 6 hours, overload my to do list, try to learn everything at once, like literally everything: sales, marketing, operations, supply chain, and whatnot. Work even after stressful days. I confused intensity with excellence, and these two are very different things, and these two will give you very different results. And eventually I burned out. I had no energy, no enthusiasm. I was procrastinating. I was resenting the very dream I chose. I used to love my work, and then suddenly, few months later, I was not even looking forward to working on my own business because intensity creates spike and consistency creates inevitability. And you know what? Spikes never build empire. So, talent is like the firework, bright, impressive, loud, but it disappears quickly because there is no energy that can sustain that firework. And inevitability is like, small tide. It doesn't rush, it doesn't scream, but it's always returns. So it's like wave versus tide. A talented woman can impress, an inevitable woman cannot be ignored, and we want to be that woman. So let me ask you the question that will anchor this entire episode. Would an inevitable woman move like this? Would she overload herself for the validation, chase 10 tasks just for the dopamine, just for the sake, like, okay, I did it, I was so productive today, just to, can you chase those 10 tasks if you are inevitable? Burn out to feel accomplished, or abandon sleep just to feel productive? Or would she build depth? And what changed everything for me is sleep. Yes, something very basic. When I started protecting my sleep, fueling my body properly, and just listening to my body and just choosing 3 tasks instead of 15, everything shifted. Because energy is the long game, and you don't win by doing more, you win by staying in the game longer than everyone else. Just listen to this line: you win by staying in the game longer than anyone else. And then I applied this philosophy to my agency. We don't rush. Between the scripts, approval, shoot, we go deep. We literally analyze everything. We set designs, props, balance. We spend so much time in color coordination, even nail color if hand is visible on the camera. Why? Because average stops at good enough, and inevitable goes one deeper layer. And depth is unforgettable. And you know what started happening? Clients started to renew their contract for years on the end because they love the detailing. And I know other agencies could be good for the product shoots, but what we do is way beyond that. We don't just create the product shoot, we take care of each and every single detail. So instead of just doing and rushing through every single thing, just spend time, create the depth in your work, create the depth in your personality as well. So you are not just rushing through the life, you are actually experience the life and being inevitable. So even when you are not in the room, your clients will praise you, your clients will tell your name to someone else, and that legacy that you will build will be so much more than any talent could ever do. And when you're talented, you just want to have that dopamine hit of ticking off that to-do list of thinking, okay, I did everything alone today. And that alone word is very dangerous, because sometimes we are so hesitated to take the help because we are little bit of perfectionist, and we think that okay, I can do this better. So we have glamorized this situation: I can do this alone, I can create better results alone. And you know what happens? You burn out on Wednesday itself, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you are done. And next 3 days you cannot even survive, you are just running behind something and you don't even know what you are running behind. And that's the worst situation to be in my opinion. So do lesser things, but do consistently for the longer time. Because yes, I will say it again, you win by staying in the game longer than everyone else. Because so many people, if you are entrepreneur, so many people give up in 2 years, but if you are there for 10 years, I can guarantee you that you will see some success in that. So that's our goal. So instead of having one intensity, just have the linear consistency every single day for longer period of time. It's like planting the tree. If you give like 1 liter of water to a tree on single day and you didn't water it for entire month, it will die. And same goes with anything. If you want to be a content creator, if you just uploaded 10 reels on one day and nothing for the next month, it's not going to work out. Even for your business, it goes with every single thing: your body, business, career, relationships. You have to nurture them every single day. So instead of increasing the intensity in one day when you have that motivational wave, just spread it across the month. Have rest, take rest, have your 8 9 hours of beauty sleep, and just distribute it. Because if you are talented but scared to execute, your talent is like fish out of the water. It has power, it has ability, but in the wrong environment or without movement, it suffocates. Execution is like oxygen and discipline is like water. So ask yourself again, would an inevitable woman move like this? Or is she building systems, creating her own curriculum, tracking her own performance? In 2023, during those 6 months after quitting my job, I felt foggy because without structure, your potential becomes noise. And that's when I realized if there is no curriculum, you create one. Because even in office, you have been given like deadlines by your manager, you know what to do every single day, they are giving you tasks, you are just completing it, and it just works like that because there is someone above your head constantly telling you what to do, what not to do. So I started studying industry leaders, listing what separates from average, updating myself consistently, learning trends before they become trends. That's the important point because you have to keep learning. You always have to keep learning, even though it is not in the curriculum. There is no semester at the end, but you have to keep learning. And that's when I stopped trying to be the loudest and started trying to be the most precise. Whatever I did, I just started doing with my whole heart. Even if I am doing just 2 or 3 tasks per day, I am doing it in a way that it is so perfect that if it was a test, I will get 10 on 10. And that's when inevitability started building. And there's this another layer of listening to your body, not your mood, because mood says I don't feel like it, and body literally tells you when you are tired because you slept for 5 hours. And mood is emotional, and if you are a woman, we get emotional throughout the month so many times. And if you are near your luteal phase or if you are on periods, that is going to be there all the time for your throughout your entire life. Mood is emotional and body is biological, so always follow that biological anchor. An inevitable woman respects her biology, so yeah, you push through discomfort but you don't ignore the burnout. That is very important. So discomfort is doing something you are new to, like speaking in public, talking to camera. This is not going to be comfortable. But burnout is something when you have a headache, you cannot focus, you have a brain fog, and that's when you have to listen to your body and take the rest. And if you take the rest every single day for 7 hours, you may not feel need to take that extra rest also. So yeah, consistency always wins at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if that consistency is in your sleep pattern or in your work, but just be honest with yourself. Learn to recognize what is discomfort and what is burnout. One more thing that inevitable woman does, she says no when necessary and prioritize her goals unapologetically. If you are saying yes to 10 social events even when you do not have time, and then you are spending whole night working on your dreams, it is obviously not going to work in the long term. You can do it for one day in 3 4 months, but not every single week. Every single week, if you have to think, okay, I have to do my job, but I also want to build this business, but I also want to have a life, you cannot do that because that is not humanly possible. I know you can do it to certain extent, but if you tell like in this phase of my life I want to do it all, it will drain you. Say no when it is necessary. You don't have to be everywhere every single time. Just say no and prioritize your goal unapologetically. You will thank yourself after 6 months, because consistency over intensity every single time. And this is for the young career woman who was popular for being smart, was praised for being capable, and now feels stuck in a system that doesn't reward them. I know it feels stuck. I was in the corporate ladder, I was stuck there. I felt like it doesn't matter what you do, everyone is doing the same work even after 10 years. I literally quit my job the day I realized that someone working there for 10 years is doing the same exact work. Obviously his or her salary might be different, her position might be different, but the work that they are doing was so similar, and I couldn't even stand the thought of doing that same thing for 10 years down the line. And that's when I realized I was stuck in the system. And even though I did my work to the T 100% correct, it doesn't matter. So I was feeling like I am running so fast, but I was not moving because there was nowhere to go. I'm not sure if you can relate to this stuck feeling, like you feel like I'm doing everything in my hand, but there is no clear goal. I'm not going anywhere, and what is the point of doing all of this? I used to think this so many times when I was in a job, because the maximum possible reward I was going to get was 10% increment, and that's it throughout the year. Even if I do my best job, even if I do average job, even if I was just going there and for the sake of attendance, I was gonna get 10% increment. That's it. It was like a treadmill. It doesn't matter how fast you are moving, you are not going anywhere. You are not stuck because you lack talent. You are stuck because you haven't shifted from performance to structure, and structure is unsexy but powerful. Learn this latter, that you can do so much more apart from your job and still have the rewards. Like, you can literally, I have seen some people, some girls getting new projects at such a young age and leading the projects. They are literally getting the patents, research papers, just because they choose to go into that depth. So they just choose one step ahead, which I couldn't see when I was doing the job. But when I'm looking from the outside, there are so many opportunities which you just don't know, because your peer, your manager is not talking about it. So you have to be very proactive and create the structure for yourself, and that structure is going to be very unsexy compared to your colleagues, compared to other people around you, but that is powerful. And if you want to move from stuck to inevitable, here are the practical steps. Just protect your sleep at all cost, because sleep is your fuel, and that will fuel your energy throughout the day. If your sleep is not there at 3 p.m., you are going to have a headache. You are going to crash, and you know what? 3 to even 7 p.m., that 4 hours are very important, because you can do so much more in that 4 hours. So protect your sleep. Just increase 2 hours of sleep to have the extra 4 hours of productivity. Limit yourself to 3 meaningful tasks daily, and if you do those 3 tasks daily, you are done for the day. Yes, just learn to accept that you are accomplished. It is also part of mindset. And study top 5 people in your industry. Even if you are in the corporate, learn what Indra Nui did. She did such an amazing job, and she didn't even have the resources back then, but she became the CEO of Pepsi. So only the sky is the limit, even if you are in the corporate. And I did not learn that when I was in that job, but you have the resources right now. You have the chat GPT, you have the AI, Claude AI. There are so many AI, I don't even want to name the names. So just learn and study what those top 5 people in your industry did, and write down what makes them above average, and choose to do one of that thing, at least one of that thing every single day, and I can assure you, you will see so many great results in year. Go one layer deeper than everyone else, and stop explaining your standards, act on them, because everyone else is going to do 70% anyway, and choose to be the woman who does at least 90%. Just go deeper, even if that is not expected from you. Choose excellence even when average is expected from you. And I cannot tell you, like, this changes everything. And when you are stuck into that race comparing yourself, even when I was in doing business, I was, comparing few things with my partner. Like, if he is doing, why should I do extra? If he's doing this much, why should I do extra? Because that is who I am. I have to do extra. I love it. So choose that. Just get out of that pity mindset and choose to do extra, even when no one is watching, even when no one is asking, because obviously you are the one who's going to reap those rewards. And if you are in corporate, I know it gets very difficult when everyone around you is complaining about the job, complaining how they are going to do the bare minimum just to get through the job. It is going to be the hard to flow in the opposite direction of the river, but you have to do it for yourself, because you owe it to the girl who studied at midnight just to get that first number, right? I know you know her. I know you have studied so hard when you were in college or school. You didn't get to the top without hard work. I know you love your hard work and you love that little girl who studied at midnight, who looked at the detail in that study, and that's why you got that topper status. But you have to do that. You have to continue that in your job, in your work, in your life, and not just the work but in every aspect of your life. It doesn't matter if it's a health, if it's a relationship. Even in relationship, go above and beyond. Don't wait for your partner to make you feel precious. Just do that by yourself, because you know what, we love to do that. We are nerd, right? If you are a topper, there is some little bit little girl, it's still inside you, who is still nerdy. So just show up like that in every aspect of your life, and you will live the fulfilling life. You won't feel like you are moving but you are not getting results, because that relationship will flourish like anything else. I cannot even tell you. Like, suppose you see that, okay, I want to cook for my partner, go above and beyond for that, and that will give you the sense of accomplishment without any semester. Just in every area of life, just choose to go one layer deeper than everyone else, and yeah, it will change everything for you. Because here's the final truth: talent gets you noticed, but inevitability makes you irreplaceable. So show up as that inevitable woman in every area of your life, whether it's relationship, work, health, social life. Just be that inevitable woman, and trust me, it will make you feel so content, so satisfied. You will get that topper feeling once again, because you are doing things above and beyond, which is actually fueling your soul and not feeding the rat race. So from today onwards, before you overcommit, before you overload, before you quit, ask yourself, would an inevitable woman move like this? And if the answer is no, just adjust, because you don't need to be more talented. You need to be more structured, disciplined, deep, and consistent. And when you listen to this episode, I want you to feel empowered and not hyped, not pressured, but just empowered. Because once you shift from talented to inevitable, you stop competing and you start becoming the permanent, because it is how this works. And you know what? I think I have this special experience from myself. Like, in especially, obviously, it's going to give you good results in your work, but even in relationships, you will not feel jealous of any other woman, because you are going one layer deeper, and even your partner can sense that, and even you can sense that. So you are just secured in your own skin, you are secured in your own relationship, work, status, everywhere. You are just so secure, because you know, I'm just going one layer deep, and it is just who I am. I can't wait to have you that feeling. So just stop competing and start becoming the permanent. And I'll see you in the next one. This podcast is produced by Social Welking.